5 years, you're 50% chance you're going to lose the other leg, and within 5 years of that, you're going to die. You're going to die in 5 years from the second amputation. It's just the way it goes. And probably some of you here had aunts, uncles, grandfathers, grandparents, or cousins that have lost their legs already from diabetes and poor blood flow. I don't even have to ask, I know it. Well, anyway, eyes, retinopathy. The retina is not getting enough blood, and you can cause blindness. Low back, disc disease. Did you know that disc disease can be caused by poor blood flow to the disc, the meniscus, or the little discs between your vertebrae? So, I mean, that was something I learned just recently, but, you know, it makes a lot of sense. And in males, erectile dysfunction. Now, men don't want to hear that, but, you know, I'm at the VA. There's a lot of people taking medications to counter that effect, but they still have it, but they have to take a medicine to try to, they're going to have to take a medicine for that. But, believe it or not, if they go and exercise and eat right and do all these things we're going to look at this weekend, they really can reverse impotence. But on my patients' charts, if they've got all these problems, diabetes and heart disease and all that, even if it doesn't say impotence, I know they're impotent because it goes along. I mean, you don't get, this poor blood flow doesn't just go to certain areas, it goes to everywhere. So if your heart's not got enough blood, your brain's probably not got enough blood, your feet don't have enough blood, your extremities, other parts of the men don't get enough blood. So anyway, it's important, you know, to do these things that we're talking about or what the Lord gives us. So, exercise, how much exercise is good or do you need? Well, if you don't exercise now, you want to be going towards where you're doing 30 minutes, 6 days a week, at least. Now, if you get to that point, go farther. Do 60 minutes a day. And if you have time to, do that. But if you don't have time, at least get 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And if you're just starting, we are giving you information that's saying to do more as you go. So if you can only walk to the mailbox, guess what? Walk to the mailbox, come back, and then do it again and come back. And then the next day you might do it again, or maybe it takes you 3 days and now you're doing it 3 times. You get the idea is that you just keep adding on to it. You don't, so now you've done the mailbox, now you can go around, walk around your house on the yard, or you can walk down the street a block and come back. There's really no conditions that people have where it's not possible for them to do. I mean, rarely, but people just use it as an excuse most of the time. Some people will tell me I can't breathe, my lungs aren't good. Well, they smoked for 50 years. And so, yeah, it is difficult. But you know what? All this stuff, like we're saying, can be reversed. So don't buy into the fact that you've got to be sick and tired and you can't get well, because we can get well. That's the good news. That's the good news of the gospel. The good news about the health laws is we can get better. And don't think sickness, don't think negativity, think positivity all the time. Because the Lord, He is awesome. He can do anything. And we can do these things with His strength and His power. But not on our own. It has to be through Him. So, there's cardiovascular exercise, there's strengthening, weights, flexibility, balance. We talked about that. Do what's easiest for you. Gym membership isn't required. And, you can ask your doctor, but the bottom line is we know that we can walk in Walmart when we want to shop, or if we want to go to the store and buy something for the house. or whatever it is. We can make our way around that store if we try. Do things together as a family for exercise. Make it fun. You don't even realize you're exercising. You need to have motivation if you don't exercise now. Motivation is what gets us started and keeps us going. We have to have determination. Don't give up. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We have to have a commitment to do these things. You got to give it your all and realize that it's what the Lord wants you to do. We're all Christians here. We all love the Lord. We want to do what He wants us to do. And then when you accomplish and see your desired results, it'll give you a physical, emotional, spiritual uplifting, and it motivates you to go further and never quit. People that have experienced success and healthful living never want to go back. So we want you to be that. Now, next thing is water. NEW, water. Our bodies are 60% on average of water. Some organs have much more than that. Some up to 80% of the organ is water. Also, we use hydrotherapies in healing. God has given that in places like Uchee Pines and Weimar and what's the one in Georgia? Wildwood. All these places use hydrotherapy. Water is healing. And I'm not going to go into depth of that either. Now, the best things are water and herbal teas. Beyond that, there's not much. God gave us water, and try to drink as pure water as you can. Pensacola, I heard, has really bad water. I know Monsanto dumped a lot of chemicals into the ground. Maybe I shouldn't say names, but so you might want to have a filtration system. And my wife told me herbal teas are okay, just not they're non-caffeinated. I used to joke with her and say, what did I say about I want some fun water. I used to do those things you squeeze in the water, our flavor. Oh, yeah. So I didn't drink a lot of water, really. And I knew I should. And so I would say, well, I'm going to have some fun water. And I'd squeeze that stuff in. I don't even use those now. So what beverages do a lot of people drink that aren't good for you? Well, sodas, sweet teas, diet sodas. Oh, yeah, everything's a Coke here. Sprite and ginger ale, they're all Cokes. So no Cokes, alcoholic beverages, coffee, juice, fruit juices. Fruit juices have a lot of sugar in them. Guess what? It goes straight into your bloodstream as glucose because it's not attached to the fiber that it comes with. Like an orange has tons of fiber in the orange, and so when you eat the orange, you get the juice, but it's bound up. So it doesn't release as quickly as in your bloodstream. So guess what? You don't have a ton of insulin coming out to try to get it into the cell. And it can't go all in the cell, so the part that doesn't go in the cell stays in the bloodstream, and that's when you get the high blood sugar levels, right? Mm-hmm. So even fruit juice, don't let somebody fool you into thinking it's okay to drink fruit juice. So really, again, well, I think that's on one of my slides. Okay. High fructose corn syrup you need to avoid that like the plague, okay? What are some other beverages that are common that people drink that are not good for you? Any thoughts that I don't have here? I'll add them to my slide.
Regular fruit drinks that are processed.
Processed, okay? Yeah, what about, well, let's see. Okay, true or false? 0-calorie soft drinks will help you to lose weight.
No.
Pardon?
False. No.
False. I heard false.
Yeah.
Any truths?
No.
we're not going to go into the science behind it, but they are not good for you. And believe it or not, like Diet Cokes and stuff can be addictive.
No sugar.
And they can be devastating. I had a friend in the church in Fort Walton, a couple that are divorced now, and she was addicted to Diet Cokes, and they had a lot of contention over it because her husband knew it wasn't good for her. But that wasn't all of it, obviously, but that was just something that popped into my mind. But next question, true or false, sport drinks are good for you? Right, because they just have a lot of additives. Read what's on a Gatorade. It's not just water. It's a lot of stuff. And it's not, sometimes, you can have some electrolytes in it, but you can get those electrolytes through other sources too. Pardon? Coconut water. Yeah, that's one you can drink too. It's pretty good. As long as you... Lemon water, yeah, sure. Put fruit in your water is great. That way it's more fun water, isn't it? Okay. Sunlight. We all know sunlight's important. We need to be out in the sun. When we went up to the retreat, October 4th, up in Alabama, the presenters there, awesome people. What's their last name? Aikens, Curtis and Paula, and their daughter was there doing exercise. He said at least 15 minutes every day. Now, you need that for vitamin D production, right? So sunlight is fuel for animals and plants and animals, right? Just like it's for us. So, truth or myth, you must avoid all exposure to sun to prevent skin cancer. That's false. And, for me, you can get too much, especially me, but, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to get a sunburn, and anybody can get sunburn, but, you don't want to overdo it. Now, my niece, one time, she lives in Boca Raton or South Florida, and one time I saw her, and she had this big old cat hat, and she had like her shirt up to here, and she had everything covered, and I'm like, Tara, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I don't want to get sun. And I'm like, man, that's a little bit overboard. You need some sun. We need it to hit, you can have it hit your arms or your legs. My legs never burn, unless you were laying. But when you're standing, they're not going to really burn. So we need the sunlight exposure, and it's not going to. Now, if we're in it all the time, and the studies show that people that get like malignant melanoma, which is the most dangerous, that can actually metastasize, which means the cancer can go throughout your body after it starts in your skin. The people more prone to that were the people that just got it a few times in their life, really seriously bad burns. But for men that worked out in the sun, even lighter skinned men that worked out in the sun every day, they had a lower chance. So it's that constant exposure. But if you go out and you get burned, whenever you go out, and you don't even do it that much, you're at a higher chance for malignant melanoma. Now, temperance of the T, ST, is meaning using good things moderately and avoiding bad things. And that includes moderation in dress, avoidance of alcohol, and avoidance of tobacco. But, we need to be moderate in everything. You can overdo good things too. Air. Our bodies must have air. It's an essential resource, fresh air. It's good, important for lung function. We need to open our windows and we need to get outside, right? We can live up to 3 months without food. We can live a few days without water, but only a couple minutes without oxygen, right? So we need oxygen in the air. If you get carbon monoxide, which takes away the air molecule, then you will die. If you start a car in a garage and there's no airflow, it'll eventually, with carbon monoxide, will prevent the oxygen from getting into your lungs, and you will die. And that's how some people have used that to take care of what they wanted to take care of. So, rest. How many of you like just to look at that picture and, wow, that looks good. I want a good bit of that. The recommendation is, from most that I've heard, is 7 to 8 hours per night. I've heard some people say that more than 8 hours is not good for you, but others say you can sleep 9. So there again, I told you might get conflicting information, and what do you do with that? Well, to overdo something is probably not good, right? You don't want to oversleep. I do Bible studies with a guy, and I said, what do you look forward to? And we've been doing Bible studies for over 2 years now, and I'm not seeing a lot, but God's been very patient with me, and I'm not giving up on this young man because God didn't give up on me. So he's just not, he doesn't do things, he's not taking on things quickly, but he believes in the Lord, and he knows what we believe, and he believes what we believe, actually. So we're still meeting, but anyway, I said, what do you look forward to? And he said, I look forward to coming home and getting in the bed and going to sleep. And I sleep 11 or 12 hours. That's what he looks forward to. So I knew when he said that he was depressed. He was not doing well, right? So I said, Robin, you need to have a purpose in life.